years that he's been going down there, because they say it's equal to laying in your fireplace and staring up through your chimney and waiting for a duck to fly over. That's about what it's like.
I would believe that. I've heard of people doing that before.
It's a drinking sport. It's a drinking sport.
Yeah, it's just like I don't think we can do any spearing here in I don't know in Ontario. I don't think we can.
Yeah,
there's no spearing.
I'm pretty sure you can if it's. I don't know if you can do sturgeon, but I know like gar, pike, anything that they call like a rough fish or a bonefish.
Yeah, we can do that too. But this is a special season. It lasts like 2 weeks. They have a limited number that they can get. It's like 1,000, and there's 14,000 people out there. So,
oh wow!
And I think last year they had 24 guys that went spearing, and they were there for like a week and a half on average, staring all day into a hole, and 4 guys got one. So.
That's off to those 4 guys for actually being able to get one.
Yeah.
It's hard not to spear a fish, let alone through the ice and sturgeon and that. So.
Like, do they chum the hole?
No, you can't do that.
Or you can't do that. You just gotta sit there and wait. Oh man.
Yeah. You can put like a artificial lure you can hang there, but no hooks or anything like that. And it's not for me. Not enough action.
Wow. All right, guys. Good evening. We are here tonight. We got the usuals, myself, Skitter Kev, Andrew Easton, and in the middle, Chris from In the Woodyard, the guy who likes to take big dumps on people's driveways.
I did that this morning. And I liked it.
So, yeah, we're Chris is coming along for the night. We'll like the usual, you got questions, QQQ at the front of it, and you ask it so I know when they pop up, I can kind of follow that a little bit easier. Instead of going through all the questions, because there's so much stuff coming up in the comments. So we're like 52 people in already, and we just started. So I figured I'd go in with us talking that sturgeon story. That's why I wanted to go right live, because that was a pretty good story and share that with everybody. So that's pretty neat. There's no sturgeon out in, well, I guess up Nottawasaga we got some sturgeon, but I've never caught any before or never fished for them. So that's pretty neat. A little staring down a hole.
The only spot that I know of where you can catch sturgeon like around us will be like the Ottawa wherever like that. Big, it separates Quebec and Ontario, and it's a big river. There's just about everything in there. But I think that's the only spot I've heard of anybody catching sturgeon or being able to catch sturgeons in there. I've seen them a handful of times, even in the aquarium. There's a really nice aquarium in Brockville. They can go in. They got big sturgeon in there. It's pretty cool to see them.
Nice. So big shout out outside with Schraub. Woo, let it rip, Tater Chip. Thank you. Cheers.
Shive the man.
Yeah.
He's a unit.
I bet he's got a Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or 10.
We got good night, Irene. Wait, we just started.
Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen, and cheers. Cheers, Jeffrey. What else do we have? We got Larry up in Timmins, minus 33 with a wind chill of minus 42 Celsius. So that's minus 42 Fahrenheit too. So that's cold.
You got to keep your shirt on when it's that cold. If you brush up against glass, you're going to cut it.
Oh yeah.
That's getting cold. Yeah, that's getting chilly.
Yeah,
Timmins is known for that though. Here in that area, that's where it gets cold.
We got Craig, Kev. Thanks for having Andrew and Chris on this evening. Well, you're welcome, and thank these guys for coming on. Without them, it'd be just me.
Yeah, Craig's gonna be on my show in about 3 or 4 days. He came up from Illinois.
Oh yeah,
across the border. I don't know how he got across, but they let him across the border, and he bought a 880 still, and he came up and visited me for a day. We did some cutting, so pretty cool.
Nice. Is there restrictions crossing the border, or you just
it's Illinois?
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure what's going on there.
Yeah, we call them fibs. I'll let you figure out what that means.
Well, we'll have to stay tuned. You said 5 days that's coming out?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days he's on. Yeah, he was on a
Yeah.
couple videos. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That's one thing I've always wanted to try out. I've always wanted to try out one of those 880s, but I've never got the chance, so I'd really love to.
It was fun for about the first 30 seconds, and then it was heavy.
It would be.
They're heavy.
It would be.
Billy Bob, a few years back, a guy caught a sturgeon, was showing it off as some prehistoric fish. Fish and Game had a field day with him. Oh, I bet.
They're very protected. Yeah, you don't want to out of season. Yeah, it's go to jail, choke hold, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fooling around. I've heard some guys like the M&R here, like checking guys' tackle boxes, and not for sturgeon, but like any fish out of season or having too many. They don't fool around when they've got you in their sights. They're gonna hunt you down.
Right.
So we were talking about your video. So you post a video on your video. How many videos ahead? So you're 15 videos ahead. Usually?
Usually I try not to get more than less than 2 or 3 days because I get real nervous. Because if you want a video every day, you got to have them done. Yeah. Right now, I just was up on my brother Ken's for 2 weekends, and each of those 2 weekends, I think one time we shot 7 videos, and the other time we shot 9 videos.
Wow.
We do like 4 or 5 a day. We come up with a plan of what we want to do, and we just get them all done, and then I edit them at night. And so now I'm actually probably 20 or 25 days ahead now.
That's crazy.
It's hard because then people comment and they think I just did it, and I got to think, what did I even do? And
I can just imagine. I've done that before and been like 2 or 3 days ahead. I couldn't imagine being like 25 days ahead. I'd have no idea what was going on. Yeah, well, to do one every day is not easy. I don't know how much longer I can keep it up, but it seems to be working, so I just keep going. Oh, it would be. I hats off to you because it would be difficult. I don't think I've done a video in about 3 or 4 weeks. I've been running around here busy, and I know you're a really busy guy. Besides doing all the firewood you do too, yeah. So it's it just kind of takes over.
It's like Mike Morgan said, that it basically becomes your life when you really want to grow a channel fast and really get viewers up. You got to put time into it. Same as anything else, the guys that are professional athletes don't just go walk out into the field and perform. Yeah. It's years to build up what they've got.
Yeah, I've seen
I got talking to when I first kind of started doing YouTube more regularly. I got talking to a guy called the Woodyaard. His name is Chris Leclerc, and he's got a little over 1 million subs now. And he was that's what he said. I said, like, how do you get here? Like, how do you get to this point? He said, you just got to keep kicking the horse. That's all you can do with it. Just keep going with it.
It's running a marathon, and then the next day you run another marathon, then the next day you run another marathon. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is for sure. And it's funny because I found that on YouTube, to grow your audience on YouTube versus Facebook was for me, it was a lot more difficult on YouTube to grow my audience. Where on Facebook, the algorithm's a little bit different, and the platform is a little bit different. You can capture those people a lot easier than you can on YouTube. Where you really just got to stay out of here and keep yourself entertaining, which is sometimes easier said than done.
It's not easy. Yeah, and then you get people that only want one kind of video, and then other people want a different kind of video, and they want more Kenny or more Tony or more cutting of trees, or some guys that say, "Hey, just split wood. That's why I'm here." Well, I can't just split wood. I got to cut some wood. I got to deliver some wood. Just try to show what I do.
Consistent. They just want you to be consistent. If you're doing one video a week, do one video a week and stick with it. If you're doing a video every day, do a video get that every day.
I've had guys tell me, that they probably couldn't be regular in the bathroom unless I do a video, because in the morning, that's what they do. They watch me and sit on the throne.
Wow.
No, whenever I get the opportunity, whenever I don't need to be into work early, I'll exercise downstairs. Now that's always you post a video about the same time I hop on the bike. So
yeah, we found the best time for guys guys that are in the wood and stuff. They're morning people for the most part, and or guys that are at work pretending to work. But right away, first thing in the morning, between 5 and 7 o'clock is a real good time to post. That's what we found out.
Yeah.
So that's why
that's when I have time to watch. I get up, have my breakfast, watch a few videos, and it's usually when I'm getting the kids breakfast is when yours pops up.
Oh.
So I just say, depending on the time, I can catch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you're right on with that. Because like there's definitely a prime time to it. If you post something in the middle of the day or like 10 o'clock in the morning, you don't get near the response out of it. It doesn't matter what social media platform it's on. That's just the way that it is, right? It'll get buried in the other stuff, and guy will forget about it, right? So you either got to be in the morning or in the evening. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and be at the same time. See, like I was saying, how far my videos are ahead. My son does the posting for me. I do all the work. I do all the shooting. I do all the editing. I make the thumbnails, and I give him everything, and then he compresses it all because he's an IT guy, and then he sends it, and then he basically posts it all ahead of time. So like right now, I think we're at like 15 or 16, but I got a whole bunch more to get them. And so he just puts some programs in for the time they're going to be released, and I don't have to do anything after that other than I do comments every morning and every night.
Yeah.
So,
well, cheers to BNF Firewood. Andrew, let Jerry know he's counting down the days for his machine.
That's less than a year. That's pretty good.
That's doing all right. Yeah. That's not so bad.
It's going to be like a Christmas present for him.
Hopefully we can get it to him even sooner. The guys in the 1222s are doing pretty good right now. There's a couple of 2228s a little slow, and so are the diesel splitter, just trying to get parts in for them. But the 1222 guys, we were telling them July. I think a guy was at the shop there the other day, and it was he was supposed to get it in July. So we're starting to pull ahead on them finally. So that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know how you stay patient with all the stuff that you have to deal with, just getting inventory, getting your materials. It's just, and people want your product so much that it's just, I don't know how you stay calm.
It's for the most part, we're pretty consistent. Like we only have started running into more supply chain issues the last 3 or 4 months since we moved into the new shop. We're not, like we went from building like 7 to 10 splitters a week to building 20, right? So it's been a big difference, and then trying to get everybody to mesh together. That seems to be the big part of it. I was talking to you guys off air before about this big ERP system. So it's an enterprise resource planning. A lot of guys in the industrial stuff will understand SAP or Oracle. It's sort of the same idea as that, where it will actually schedule all your time and your materials coming in and organize all that for you. Because there's just like I think I looked today. I was working on the 60C, and there was 2,000 parts on them that we had in the system. That doesn't include any like pumps, valves, like any of the small consumable parts like that. That was just what we build and what we buy for it. So it's just it's a pretty daunting task to organize it, but I think we're finally getting there. So that's good.
Oh, that's good to hear. Airside with Schwab. Chris, when you getting your processor?
I don't know. I'd like to get one eventually. It'd be nice to have one. I wouldn't have to work as hard. Or I'd work harder. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Need more wood coming in.
It'd be harder to stay warm. You'll be able to wear your beaver hat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We got Glenn and Brian for you. Andrew, when are you going to get some more videos posted?
I got to get one of the 16-way wide. I haven't got one of the 16-way wide. We've got it working beautiful. It works awesome now, and I just haven't. We've been so busy just the last 3 or 4 weeks trying to get all this up and rolling, and I'd imagine the next couple of weeks we'll probably get back into a regular rhythm of it. Anyways, that's what we're hoping for. So, yeah,
David just posted a video of his 16-way wedge on a 60, a little teaser on Facebook tonight.
Oh, did he? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. It was tonight that he posted it. So here's Larry. He's up near Timmins for the sturgeon. So zone 8, January 1st to April 30th, and July 1 to December 31st. You can bring them in the boat, but must be live released.
Oh, there you go.
That's a decent season though.
That would be the area that I would be thinking of. Then is up Timmins area and going east.
Yeah. Chris is a full blown corn fed Midwestern boy. Love his channel. Is maple syrup season in Ohio, boys.
It's already maple syrup season. Wow, we don't have it for another probably almost 2 months yet.
We're probably in around there right now. We're probably another 6 weeks before it happens. Yeah. It was I almost thought this morning. I thought the sun might be running this morning. It was warm this morning, probably 37 degrees, 38 degrees, 5 degrees for Celsius. So
yeah, it's probably going to be in 2 weeks. It'll probably be flowing for the guys that tap early, the big guys.
Yeah.
But you tap too early and you can lose your holes, right? And you got to go and redo them all. Mm-hmm. So, but our buddy, I posted a video 3 years ago. He's one of the biggest producers in Ontario. So he just finished tapping this week. So they're all ready to go. So if they get early runs, they'll get it.
Yeah, that's saying something. If he's the biggest producer in Ontario, that's big.
Yeah, one of them, he was 30 or 40,000 taps that they're doing. Yeah. I'm not sure the biggest, but they're right up there anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite the operation that he's got. I just missed. James is asking the production updates. You kind of just went through that. The diesels are a little bit behind.
Yeah, I think James might have a 37D on order if I remember right. We're waiting on. We have almost everything there for now. But when Kubota sent us the end is the adapter plate, the aluminum bell housing in the back of them wasn't right for the piston pump, so we had to get them in. They should be in probably. We're hoping kind of the first of March is sort of when we're hoping to get them in, and then we have a whole string of 37Ds and 24Ds that are going to be getting done then. So.
Yeah, nice. We got Stevie, top of the afternoon. It's evening, Stevie. It's evening. What else? Question: is it possible to overorder the known parts?
Oh yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll tell you, you order too much, and you definitely notice in your pocket. That's for sure. Cash flow goes way down.
Yeah, you don't make money on inventory sitting on a shelf.
No, not at all. When you're talking about that much of it, it's a pretty staggering number. So
it's got to be hard for you, I suppose, when there's limited supply on certain things that when it comes available, you want to get greedy and get as much as you can.
Yeah, like tires are a big one. Like that kind of like trailer stuff, like the tires and hitches and stuff. That seems to be stuff that you have to do that with, where you almost have to gobble up whatever you can take and try and find a hole somewhere in the building, in the yard, somewhere to put that kind of stuff. Because it's that kind of stuff seems the hardest to get, because they won't. A lot of suppliers won't take like a big blanket PO or a forecast, where like our hydraulic parts, a lot of that stuff. Those companies will, because they have to know 5-6 months in advance to even be able to order the stuff, right? So,
yeah, it's a lot of money to overorder too, right? If you do,
oh yeah, it is. Like it doesn't. If you figure splitters on average around 13,000 a piece, and we're doing 20 of them a week, and over the course of a month, and with processors and disc screeners, then you can just kind of add that up in your mind. What it would add up to having all that stuff sit there and not move, right? So
yeah, for sure. We got Joe from Joe's Premium Firewood. Hi, Chris. I used my Eastimate Ultra with a 4-way wedge. Do you? Saw Surgeon has it dialed in. Hashtag Freedom Truckers. Yeah, I see the last one.
I use it most of the time. I usually try to get all my wood that's splittable with the 4-way done first. If I get any knotty or big, ugly looking suckers, I just leave them sit, and then I put the single wedge on and split those down. Especially if it's got crotches or knots, and then you can make prettier wood with the single wedge instead of getting it jammed on the wedge, because that can happen when you get a nasty piece.
Yeah, for sure. We got Joe. Chris, how many truckloads of wood are you getting?
I just got one. I told my trucker I want 3 more. I got 3 more spots. I showed him where to put it so I could come any day. And I said I'm going to be wanting at least another, probably, I would say a good 6 or 7 after that even. So.
And everything you get in, they're all 8-footers, right?
Yeah, I got to do the short stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of that area. That's what you guys are, eh?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know why, but it started with the paper industry.
Yeah.
That's the size they wanted to fit on the trains going, horizontally on the trains and on the trucks, and that's just what they started with mills years ago. It's easier for handling, but it's more handling, as you know. When you got the big logs, it's especially for feeding it into a processor. It's nice to put the big logs and just keep going. So
yeah, for sure. And you'd be able to stack them up on the live deck a little bit easier, though. The majority, they'll be fairly straight as an 8-footer, right?
That's the thing, advantage you gain. If it is a little crooked, it's not as bad crooked as if you get a 20-footer that's crooked. It's crooked.
Yeah. I put on some some boomerangs on there.
Yeah, that's called boomerangs. I never heard that. It's a good
Pete
one.
at the end pushing it up.
Oh yeah.
It will eventually be all right.
Yeah. You definitely run into them. It's funny you say the pulp industry. That would be exactly right. Like 4-foot pulp was a thing around here, and that wasn't. That was in my dad's generation. Like dad remembers loading 4-foot pulp with a pulp hook and doing it professionally, and that's just a lot of work.
Well, I think maybe years and years ago, when people were doing all hand cutting, that's probably what they had to do to handle it. To be able to do them. I know my brother Ken, when he first started cutting wood, he had to do that. He would cut stuff that the processor couldn't handle or get to, or real cuts they wanted to get done right away. And he would fell them and bunch them and just flip them end for end. You pick them up and throw them. And
didn't that short stuff go down when they're floating it down the rivers too? It
didn't jam as easily. Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure Pete's reading those old books from Perry Sound, but yeah, that's what he was saying, why they were doing like the short pulpwood. What do we got? William Klein. What's the trucking issue impacting your supplier delivery, Andrew? And that's the second question I've got this week on that for deliveries.
It's hard to get a truck, and I feel kind of strange saying that we're in Ottawa and we have a hard time finding a truck around, but but we do, that's for sure. It's the rates for trucking just the last month, 6 weeks, like they've been creeping up, and now it's just completely and totally insane. Like for what we're paying to ship something, it's like we've been looking at trucks a lot last week. We're not sure which way if I can get buy another truck. Like we did have Jerry on the road with the flatbed and the dually, and then COVID hit and it kind of slowed down. It was almost just as easy to just load Drew up once a week because that was fine. We were able to do that, but now again with the volume that we're doing, we need more than one truck, right? We need probably 4 or 5. But we've been looking at a couple of different options for it. I don't know whether we're going to get to like a hook truck with a flatbed on it, so when we deliver a wood splitter, we can literally lower them right to the ground. The guy can pull them off, or we've even thought about getting like a truck with a high ab on and stacking the splitter, so you could take a crate of a wood splitter off and do it that way. So there's a couple of different options we have for it, but I don't know if we're going to go that way or see if we have anybody else local that could haul for us. But it's hard to find owner operators now. A lot of them are tied up in contracts and different things. I don't know how it is in the States, but in Canada there's probably only 4 or 5 trucking companies around here where everybody seems to work for them now. So
really, we've got lots of different companies. So a lot of independents, a lot of small trucking companies where they've got a dozen trucks, and then there's some bigger places, and they'll have hundreds of trucks. So all different sizes.
We used to have like a lot of those guys around here locally that would have like a fleet of trucks that would have 10, 15 trucks, 8 trucks sort of thing on the road, and various trailers and vans or whatever. And I could think of probably 7 or 8 of them locally in Perth here, and then there's not one of them left. It hasn't been for quite a while.
Yeah, it's some guys just got fed up with fixing them, and the money wasn't there, and getting undercut. And
Were there a lot of regulations that were introduced? I'm just thinking that.
No, not too bad. I don't know whether it was fuel prices or trying to find guys to do the job, or what the deal was for a lot of the guys. I'm not quite sure. And then really, like a lot of our economy really depends on where our dollar is compared to the American dollar. Like if it comes up par, it's a whole lot harder for us to do business. Just because like you normally have your rate set, and then if it changes in 2 or 3 months, it's really tricky to compensate for that, right? So
yeah, well, it's not going to get better for a while either. Our fuel prices just keep going up.
Yep.
Oh, it's crazy. It's $1.60 a liter for diesel, so that would work out to whatever 4 times that for a gallon, right? So
too much. That's what it equals.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think our gallon right now is $3.69. I want to say for diesel.
Yeah, I saw guys.
That's as expensive as it's been for 10, 12 years now, eh?
I swear tonight I just saw somebody saying it was $4.10 in PA.
Oh, sure, it's possible. Yeah,
it's creeping up there.
Yeah.
Chris, you said you didn't buy your best friend's 1222 now. Are you sad you didn't? Sorry, you sad you didn't buy it?
No, I'm not sad, but it's a heck of a nice machine. Once I ran it for a while and I kind of figured out what to do and where to put the wedge and what kind of wood. I mean, it takes a while to learn how a machine works. And once I used it for a while, it's like it got more and more fun. But I've also ran his Access, and that's really nice too, especially with big wood. My brother really wants the Access. Tony showed it to him. I was at Tony's just today, and Kenny had never been there before, and Tony showed him the Access, and we ran it just to show him how it works. And he's like, "Oh, would that be nice with the big wood he gets?" So we got him drooling.
Yeah,
they're kind of a different, and it's funny too because they're 2 completely different style machines, and you either have a preference for one or the other. It's kind of a strange thing, right? So that's kind of why we went that way and built the Access, because we wanted to be part of that market anyways. So
when I first was looking, I looked at the power split, and that's similar to what the Access is, and I thought those are really nice, but I didn't really need something that would move. I really didn't need the built-in elevator, so I would have had to get a static one, I think they call it, or something. And the price was quite a bit more. The build quality wasn't quite as good. And then when I saw the cycle time that the Ultra had with the price, was like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that thing's just quick and it's light, and I can move it around. As before I had a tractor, so I could move it so easy. So for a small guy just doing a side business like I was doing, now it's getting bigger. That was a good choice for me. But bigger and faster would be nicer now. So it'll happen eventually.
Yeah,
someday.
We got another one. How many truckloads of wood you getting this year? I guess you basically just said that. So
I'd say at least 12, 13, 14. I don't know. I'll do as many as I can till I have what I have time for.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy when you really start. Your wood's kind of spread out throughout your yard. Like when you start looking around, it's like you got a fair amount.
It's getting there,
yeah.
My brother Ken says he's got more, but I don't think so.
Where are we here now? I was jumping up because I've got the second comment, and I'm sorry if I missed you on the first one, but Chris, you talked 2 people already that have seen comments on buying a Easton made. So
well, they should.
Yeah,
if they're smart.
Well, yeah, they're good splitters, but I just want to make sure that those 2 comments. I'm sorry if I didn't see your name, but I'm trying to cut through. It wasn't no question was on it. So yeah, here. Here's one, Nick.
Okay.
Nick was one you persuaded him.
Good. It's good. Your production will go way up. When I first got my Ultra, after having what I called the Glacier splitter, the one they had it was about a year cycle time, and I think it was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 seconds, whatever it was, and I would split a lot of nights till 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the dark, just because it's so slow, and I just keep going. Well, after I got that Ultra, I would come home and it would still be light out. My wife would say, "Why are you home? Don't you have wood to split?" It's like, I'm done. It's 3 times as fast. I'm done. I got a truckload and I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a game changer. It saves a lot of time. Speed is everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of guys think it's the power. Yeah, you want to get through wood, but the power isn't the most important thing. To me, it's the speed.
Yeah. Power's handy if you're doing like
that's
urban
one thing
wood.
that we've always had a hard time with is a tonnage on. Like for a long time we wouldn't even advertise. Well, I think even right now, if you look on the website, I don't think there's a tonnage rating on the website for any of the machines, because it's one of those things that it's a number that can be inflated so bad, and for the most part that's not terribly required. Like the 1222 Ultra are really good for guys like yourself that are buying truckloads of wood. And if you're an arborist guy getting the big ugly stuff, then you buy the 2228, right? You need that extra push for some of that ugly stuff. But that's kind of how we try to push people, or wood direction, try to push them in when we're selling them. So
yeah. Logan, Chris, have you ever got a truckload of old ash? Ash is a moneymaker for sure.
I just ordered 2 of them. I've had up to now. I've cut pretty much free ash everywhere. I knew a couple farmers, and I had some property where I could go cut all I wanted. And and oak was what everybody asked for around here, because there's people that I would say probably 80% of the people, when you tell them firewood, they say, "Oh, oak." They just think oak because that's what you got to have, and they don't realize everything burns. Everything's good. Some's just better than others.
Yeah.
But now there's the glut of ash, which is going to last maybe another 2 or 3 years, and it'll be gone. But yeah, I got 2 loads I just ordered, and I might even get a third, because I'll just tell people I've got ash that's as good as oak. That's what you're going to get.
Poor man's oak.
yeah.
Or that's for lumber. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but
I guess it works for firewood.
Yeah.
Poor man's oak if you want to cut, but you can actually charge more because you can split and deliver it.
Well, yeah, it's dry so fast. It's just it's an easier wood to handle. I mean, oak's great, but it dries so slow.
Yeah.
Well, I really like the. I'm with you on the soft maple. I've seen the one video you were talking about soft maple, and I would have to say soft maple is probably one of my favorites to cut and burn at home here. It's I've got a fireplace insert, high efficiency fireplace insert. Soft maple is just about perfect for it. It dries out really good. It burns good, and if you needed to burn longer, you just turn the draft off on, and it lasts all night. So
yeah. And up north where my brother lives, it's all hard maple. That's all they want. And if you got soft maple in with the mix, they get all feisty. Because it's got a little less BTUs, so they're like, "Oh, I want that hard maple. I don't want that soft stuff. What's that doing in here?" But it all burns.
Yeah, the old timers around here, they can get like that with the soft maple. They want the hard maple and the soft maple. But we can move soft maple as much as we can get. It don't matter.
Yeah, and I think probably a good 80-90% of the people don't know the difference.
Yeah,
I think it's mainly the people that heat their house with wood and have for a lifetime or however long. Yeah. They know the difference, and they know they're getting another 4 or 5 BTUs out of it instead of being 19 or whatever soft maple is. They're getting 25 or whatever the hard maple is, and holds a nice bed cold of beds, bed of colds. You
just started a frenzy of comments with that BTU you threw out there.
I'm not a real big numbers guy, getting all exact on the numbers. It's just
I don't know them. I don't know them either. Even though we're like all sitting in front of a computer and can just look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah, I get that too. People tell me this, tell me that. Like, well, look it up. You're at a computer, don't you?
Just start saying, "Hey Siri," and see how many people's phones start turning on.
Oh yeah.
Can you cone split wood on dirt ground and not get spoilage? So I'm guessing you're talking about putting cones up on ground on dirt. You're on ground, dirt. You're gonna get spoilage. It's just the stuff on the grounds that's gonna be there. Or put it on. You put a lot of stuff on, or majority of stuff on skids.
Yeah.
And I've seen guys do it on skids. If you're hand bombing it, put that cone on skids. It'd help you out.
Yeah.
If you're using a tractor or loader, skid steer, whatever, skids aren't going to work for you.
No. So you guys have a rock base, right?
We're asphalt grindings. Yeah. And we still get a little bit, but
enough to live with.
Yeah. You can kind of a few you can actually just kind of move aside with the bucket and, set it aside, and we'll burn it in the, whether it's a evaporator or Pete will burn it in his wood stove. But
so you don't have to tumble it at all. You just make sure your cones aren't onto each other, right? You get them so they're just down to the corner. I watched a couple of your videos. That looks nice.
That's kind of what we found the best. Like the first year when we first got the 4000 with the conveyor, we had them too close together, and that high it was the black mold in them was brutal. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So we learned our lesson there.
Yeah, I had a pile of oak that I had split, and it was in a corner on a kind of a low spot that sloped down, and then there was a berm behind that berm I used to have, and all the water drained down in there, and I left that pile there for months before I got it stacked, figuring, it's dry and it looks okay. Get down to the bottom, it's just black.
Wood's just like a sponge. If there's any kind of moisture on it, it's gonna suck it right in. It's
yeah. Especially certain kinds, red oak specifically, it wicks moisture tremendously, whereas white oak doesn't wick moisture. Like all the ships, like old time ships that were made out of wood, it was white oak because it doesn't absorb moisture.
Huh. What's the wait time for an elevator? Same as for a conveyor.
If it's a returning customer, we're normally about 3 or 4 months, so we normally try and do that. We leave you a handful of slots open. If it's for a new order, it's that 14, 15 months right now. So
this is Harry from the Driftless Homestead.
Harry,
yeah.
Yep. He gave me this. Isn't this beautiful?
Is that your scotch?
Yeah, it's almost gone.
Hats off you for being able to drink that stuff. I can't do it all.
No.
It's liquid candy.
Something like it, I guess. I can't say much while I drink a pint of Guinness. So,
well, Joe, you got to tell Zach when he's done at the casino with those winnings, he can come back and watch the replay when he gets home. They also used ox trains and sleds in the winter, which also led to shorewood. So that, makes sense.
Yeah.
Elogs killed trucking.
I think a lot of it did, honestly.
Yep.
It definitely makes it a whole lot more difficult. And I know for us, like for myself, it was really difficult. Even having the right information, the right paperwork to go even from one state to the next, and they'd want something different out of you, a different piece of paper, different certification for you, and that was a tricky part. I think now going back into it, knowing what I know now, I don't think it'd be near as bad, but that's after years of experience doing it too, right? So
yeah. Well, back 40 firewood. Cheers. How many loads of morning wood have left the wood yard?
Just so you know, Dan, the other day I had a load I put on, and there was a couple of them in there, and I mentioned your name. So it'll be in the video. There was a couple, and I said, this is the kind of wood Dan likes.
That's funny. Nice to see you here, Dan. Daniel's asking, what's an Elog? An Elog is basically it's not paper on, so you can't run 2 log books in your truck. Basically, you can't cheat the system.
Right, they watch the time closer, so the guys can't get extra driving in and make a living.
You're 14 hours? I think it's 14 hours now.
Oh, I thought it was
you're allowed to be on for 14 hours and driving for I think 12 or 13. It's so long before you have to take a break, and it plugs right into the truck, so you can't cheat it.
Yeah. How much does a 48C put out an hour? 2 to 4, the same as a 4000, basically. All depends on the size of the wood you're putting through.
Yeah, if you get a lot of small stuff or short stuff or crooked stuff, it slows down. Where if you get into like even one big log on a deck, it makes a world of difference. If you get something 14, 15 inches, you can really pound the wood out of it that way too. So It cycles in about 3 seconds, which is really, really, really fast for a processor.
That's flying.
Yeah.
And it's,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's still got 40 tons. That's the same with the 22 MB and the 60C too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the big wood definitely produces more wood.
yeah, 100%.
It's nice when you, especially if you put a bunch of small stuff through and you get those, 15, 16-inch stuff. It's nice running that through. And
But if you're
you start
running
putting that.
if you're running a splitter, the big stuff will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So we're Southern California, diesel's $4.99 a gallon.
I'm glad I don't live there.
Yeah. Stevens Firewood, he got a 1222 last week. Amazing how much more productive it is. Oh, I bet.
Just like a kid at Christmas.
California diesel isn't real diesel, is it?
We're 636 Canadian for a gallon of fuel.
636 Canadian.
You got California beat really bad then.
Well, if you do the conversion rate on the dollar, you're about $4.96 a gallon is what it's worth right now.
Wow.
About the same.
It's $4.96 American a gallon where we are.
Andrew and Chris, any thoughts on selling and making kindling machines?
You'll likely see us come up with a kindling machine in the future here. I would say probably. I would think we're going to lightly start focusing on it. I would think towards the end of the year. We were hoping to do it last year, but we just didn't have time to do it. In between getting the shop going and running everything, we're going to add on to the shop again this year. We're going to add another 10,000 square feet onto the end of it here. So,
does anybody make a kindling machine yet that you know of? Does anybody have any?
Not anybody in North America. Like you can buy like the split the Fuelwood Warwicks, and you can buy the Posh and Pinosas and stuff like that. But nobody in North America is making them right now.
But is it specifically even for kindling, or is it just for small wood that's how they're selling it?
Depends on how you set it up. Like if we build one, we'd build it to take around 20 inches. And what it does is it runs a conveyor, so it steps to the head of the knife. So we should be able to have like an HDMI like interface on there that if you want your wood 3 inches, you put in 3 inches and it steps the conveyor head that far. Or if you want it, well, whatever size you want it, essentially, it'll be able to split for you. So
yeah, that would be handy. Guys would like that, especially having it built in North America. You don't have to wait on getting it shipped in and parts and service and
by the time you ship something like that over here, it's fairly expensive. I know we can build a probably a lot better machine for a lot less money. So
yeah, it's what's a container coming over? 14,000 now.
Oh yeah,
crazy. If not more, it's probably more now.
Yeah, like a conveyor used to be like 4,000 or 5,000 to go across the water. They're like 20 grand now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Wayne Thorpe. Chris, any plans to go with concrete bunkers in the future to limit stacking time?
Not for a while. I don't know that I would. I don't know how to answer that nicely.
You like stacking?
No. I don't mind employing a few high school kids to do the stacking. I don't know that I want to get that big. I mean, I could see it in the future possibly, but then I'd have to get a bit more equipment. It's not a matter of just the bunkers. It's the equipment to handle it, volume of product. I mean, it's growing quite a bit to do it and do it right and make it justifiable. To just put one in for a show, no, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if I'm put it in, I'd want multiple ones, and I'd want to, I'd want to make it profitable.
Yeah. How come I lost this question? Oh no. There we go. Mark, I've learned a lot from you, Chris. I tune in every single day.
Well, thank you much. Appreciate it.
We're gonna have to make that center one a little bit bigger for your head there.
I don't know. It really is the weirdest thing. And you guys probably agree. It's so weird having people think you're anything special. We're just guys that work.
Yeah, you're right.
My wife just said, "You're not
That's a
special."
bizarre thing.
It's funny. Like my wife would give me the same comment that yours just gave.
Yeah. When I first started my channel, I told my brother Ken, who's been working in the logging industry for a long time, and I told him what I was going to do with firewood. He said, "Really?" He says, "Who the hell's going to watch that?" I said, "Oh." I said, "There's a lot of guys." I said, "There's other channels," and I said, "My son told me it would be a good thing to do. I'm doing the work anyway. I might as well show it." So we thought, hey, let's give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. Turk, Andrew, ever put an adjustable wedge on an Ultra?
No, we have. Like you can manually adjust them, but just the way they're set up, there'd be nowhere to put the cylinder for it. And they call the big thing is the cost. The Ultra is a very easy, quick machine to build. Where once you start getting more elaborate, it really drives the cost of it up. Every little piece put on, and we've even had guys ask about log lifts and stuff. And by the time you do that and fabricate all that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're doing over the course of weeks and months, it adds up really fast.
That's probably the most common requested thing that I get. Why don't you put one on there? How come it didn't come with one? Who made that? Why don't you have a log lift? Why don't you have adjustable wedge?
You get lots
I get that all the time. I said buy a 1222.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. It's like you're looking at a vehicle, you can put all the options in, or just buy that next base model. And yeah.
It's sort of like an old muscle car. You don't really need the radio, do you?
No, not really.
Nope. That's funny. I was listening. Facebook sucked me in, and I got into like the old muscle cars. The guys, they're basically just sitting there idling, and it's like, yep, just music to your ears. Beautiful.
Hey, there's Joe.
Yeah, Joe's around. Chris, you're the hardest worker on YouTube, which I agree 100%.
Yeah,
could you sell me some of your energy? Kev, can you lend me some money to give to Chris?
I don't like sitting around. I don't. No. If I'm not being productive, that's a flaw.
Well, if anybody saw, I don't think it was your Friday video, I think, where you're hauling the ash up the hill.
Yeah, that was torture. That was stupid.
Oh, man.
Well, I got there, and the guy had all that, it's nice ash. I mean, it was beautifully cut, but way down there, and I drove, it took 15 minutes to get there. I thought, well, I'm there, I'm going to take some. Well, then when I started, I could do one more. I could do one more. And I figured I'm there. I might as well do a video and, get some wood. So that's what I did. But I'm not going back unless I can figure out something easier.
High school kids?
I don't know. I got to pay them. And it's just, the guy doesn't realize how much work it is. So.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that any quicker.
And he doesn't want machinery on his hill. He doesn't want machinery on his front, because you got to go through his front lawn, around his house, through his neighbor's yard to even get to his backyard. Yeah. So it's just a bad situation. There's nothing good about it. There's a reason the guy that cut the job left it.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Rod. Chris, you need about 3 more truckloads of that locust so you can waste a day cleaning up the mess.
I just told my truck, my logger was there 2 days ago bringing me I got a half a load of hickory and a half a load of oak. I told him, I said, I really like the locust, but don't bring me any more.
So I find that stuff when it's sitting, the stuff on the ground, when that bark peels off, it's like an ammonia smell. It is brutal.
Yeah, it's beautiful wood. I mean, it has great BTUs. It burns fantastic. I think the only way I would want to take a load again, if I ever bought another load, I would want it fresh cut. Yeah. So I could cut it up right away, split it up, and be done. And that way the bark would not be an issue. Because if you let it sit for a month or two in a pile before you process it, the bark comes off. It shrinks down and dries, and it's a mess. The only thing that's worse probably is basswood. With the bark.
Yeah, it peels right off. Yeah.
Sheets.
Basswood goes right through the grinder. That's all that's good for. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, not a fan of basswood. Saw Surgeon. Ted's here. How you doing, Ted?
Ted.
Kevin, Chris, and Andrew. Howdy, gents.
Thanks for coming out, Ted.
He's a good man.
We're finally up to the comments now.
BT.
And Steven is exactly right, because you look at every chart on the internet and not one is the same.
Yeah, they vary by one can say 19, one can say 21, one can say 17. They're kind of all over.
And then
I'd be really curious to see how you actually measure that with a piece of wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just so many variables with it too, right? Like even if you had the moisture content down to like exactly where it needed to be, but if maybe have a knot in it or something like that, it's going to burn longer and hotter. Right. You know what I mean? It'd be really hard to actually narrow that down, hammer that down to give somebody proper information on that.
Right. Or a tree that's been growing in the open where it's got wide growth rings versus one growing in a deep, heavy forest where the growth rings are, on top of each other. That's going to make a difference.
Big difference. Like that's what we tell a lot of guys too. Like when they're buying a splitter, like we always try to ask, like, where are you getting stuff out of a fence line or out in the open, like an urban tree, or like there's a huge difference. Like we bought I got a couple loads of ash. I took down the local logger, did a job down in the city here, and had a bunch of ash that was growing out in the open. It was probably the hardest wood I've ever split. It was just terrible stuff to split, but it was ash. They went every direction you could ever possibly think of, and just the knots were hard as rocks, and it was really bad stuff to split.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of wood it is. If it's got big limbs growing out of it and crotches and knots, it's nasty no matter what.
Yeah.
That's what.
AL firewood, waiting for better work. So we just answered that. The guy doesn't want any equipment on his property, which like that makes it tough.
Yeah. That's why I thought maybe Tony has a winch. He has a gas winch with the Honda engine on it, and we could have hooked up sleds and pull it up there. And even that would just take quite a bit of time to do. And I just don't know if it'd be worth it. Guys ask me all the time, how much do you make an hour? Well, I've gone and actually done the math and did all my hours on truckloads versus cutting in the woods. I make more money buying wood. It's just faster.
Yeah.
A lot less time, a lot less effort into it.
Yeah, for sure.
But we all like free stuff, so that's why it's hard to pass it up.
Wayne, is it possible to split wood that's the right size? Every customer wants a smaller or bigger, but never what is ready. I think next season we'll start separating by size also. Yeah, I think everyone deals with that. It's whether, I guess, how much they like you or like your prices, and they end up dealing with it.
I think it depends on what kind of customer you're selling to. I mean, there's a huge difference between my customers and the customers my brother has. My brother lives in an area where probably 80% of the people heat their house, and they want bigger wood.
Yeah.
And by me, it's fireplace. It's people, the average person, I figured that out too. The average person uses 2.5 face cords or almost a full cord in a year. That's average. Some will go through a couple of full cords, but a lot of people just get a single, and you average it out. It's between 2 and 3 face cords or full cord. Right in there is that's average. So if they're just sitting there watching the wood burn, they want to kind of play with it in smaller pieces of what they want. And they want a flame. They don't want it to burn all night. They're not looking for all-nighters. They don't want a log they got to turn over every half hour just to see a flicker of a flame. They want flame.
Yeah.
And I always say, if you can't pick it up with your hand, or if the lady of the house can't pick it up with one hand, it's too big.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're our market. We're kind of they heat.
Yeah,
they can. There's some bigger stuff. They'll still, they get a little bit older, and they're like, well, maybe it's a bit big. I'm like, call us in the spring. We can make it smaller like that. That's easy enough for us, right?
Do you find too that there are a lot of people that have the high efficiency stoves now too, that they want smaller stuff because they're smaller fireboxes? Because that's what I'm seeing more of now too.
No, not that. Pete would be dealing with all those phone calls, but he's never really mentioned about it. But for us, if we get bigger logs in, we're getting bigger wood coming out of that 8-way, and that's where we get those complaints. The wood's too big, right? Too many overnighters.
Yeah, I would say for every one person that says or used to say that it's too big, I had I had way more. I guess I got to say it the other way around. For most of the people would complain that it was too big when I first started, and now they're all saying that they're glad that it's small. They like it. I mean, there's way more people that want smaller wood.
Yeah.
So that's what I give it.
Yeah.
I have a high efficiency fireplace, and it does. If you have smaller wood, it works a lot nicer. If you have stuff that's however big, like a palm size, maybe is perfect for it. If you get bigger than that, like it'll burn in it, but it doesn't throw near the heat. And even the smaller stuff, like if you load it up with the smaller stuff, it'll burn just the same as if you put big pieces in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always tell people just pack it in so it can't breathe. You know, put your pieces so they're. How do I do this? Put your pieces so they're together tight. Don't have them crossed. If you stack them in tight, they're going to burn slower and then damper down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stephen, Kev, on your big canvas buildings, do you have a problem with wet wood on the bottom? I've been thinking about getting one. No, unless you don't have the slope right and the water runs in. That's the only way you're getting wet wood in them. Just have your grades right on it, sloping everything away, and it's fine. It's dry as a bone in ours, so you're not going to have that problem in them. Or if the rain blows in, but we got backs on kind of blocking any northwest wind, so we don't get any real rain coming in. Ontario Fire Resource. With all the familiar faces, I can't tell whose live stream this is.
I've never done a live stream. This is my very first one ever.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I broke your live stream virginity.
Yeah. I just don't have the time to do it. I would like to, and I talked to my son about it, and he says, "You're not ready yet."
It's nice having, when me and Andrew do it, it's great. It works out great. And like having that third person is really nice. Like tonight's working out really good. It's awesome. I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah,
I tried to get Jerry with a G talked into coming out here there last a couple weeks ago or whatever. So I'm good enough at shoving my foot in my mouth and you can edit it out, let alone it's live.
Yeah, people don't realize how much stuff I edit out, especially when with my brother Kenny. There's a lot of stuff I cut out, and with Tony, when we get to goofing around, some of the stuff is brutal. I mean, it would be not R-rated. It'd be, well, I shouldn't even say it's. We have a good time.
Yeah, and that's I was talking last week. I was talking to someone. It's the same thing. He's like, that's what I like. All these Joe and you and me and Andrew and all these other kind of firewood channels. It's the language isn't there, right? So
I try to keep
watch.
it family friend. Yeah. I my son told me too, because he's experiencing all this stuff. He says, make it so anybody can watch it. Yeah. And he said, if you ever want to grow or if you ever want to get sponsors, keep it clean.
Yeah.
And because I've seen guys that they just are wide open, and you can only take so much of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets to be a bit too much. I know when my dad used to watch one of his farming channels out in Saskatchewan, and they'd take the kids out. They'd have them overnight. Well, Dad would watch it at night. Well, the one guy, he swore like a sailor all the time. And Dad's like, can't watch it with the kids there, right? But like, there's another one, a good channel. Just there's a lot of swearing in it.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just the swearing. When we get together, the jokes are pretty brutal.
I can just imagine.
It's fun though, and you want to show some of that because you got to keep it real, but you got to be real careful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You got to have that banter in there. That's what makes it entertaining. That's I really got to get Jerry on another video. We haven't really got together and done one for a long time. So
yeah. Well, tell him he's still welcome.
We did have a video there. A couple of one there. Jeremy got one. Have you ever seen them put an air horn on the bottom of somebody's chair? We did that in the office, and we got a lot of people with it, and we got Jerry. Jerry's such a character, such a comical guy to be around in the first place. It was just so hilarious to watch it. But like, I don't know if you could properly post it. We had the one video of me scaring Jerry through the window there. I think that was just about edgy enough. So
yeah.
So, senior firewood, Chris, honestly, is your back sore?
I get that all the time. No, I'm a firm believer. Use it. When it starts to hurt, quit. I do a lot of stretching. There are days like the thing that gets it the most is if I decide to really do a lot of stacking. If I stack like say 6 full cords in a day, at the end of the day it's sore and tired, but I wake up, I'm good to go again. I stretch a lot. I don't know. I think if you use it, that's the best thing you can do for your body. As long as you don't abuse it.
Yeah. It's firewood's one of those things.
It's work.
Yeah. Lift with your back, not your knees.
I'd lift every way I can get it off the ground.
Adam's saying U.S. hours of service for Elogs are less than Canada. He thought it's 10 hours of driving.
That's I think it is 10. Yeah.
There you go.
You guys have for you guys to drive across your country though takes like what, a week?
Yeah.
You'd be that easily. Yeah, 100%. You will be.
Yeah, everything is far there. I mean, you guys think, oh, run to the grocery store. It's a 2-hour drive, and for us, it's just 2 minutes.
It's for us like it take. Well, I guess how long you want to drive for, but like with the log hours, a truck's 2 days getting out of Ontario alone, right?
Yeah. It'd be 2 days. Like we're both of us trying to get out of Ontario, and it's. Where me and Kev aren't in too bad of a spot, but once you go north of us, there's not any infrastructure. There's not like it's there, but it's not. It's you're getting rural. Like there's not a whole lot up there.
I've been to Alaska a couple times. Once driving, and it's if you drive 18 hours a day, it's about 5 days to get there from where I am. People don't realize how big Canada is. Most people have no concept of it. They think Texas is big. Texas is a speck on the map compared to some of your provinces. It's huge.
I think the other thing too that difference in the trucking too is all of our trucks are governed to 65 miles an hour. Right? So like it's kind of funny going down there. For first couple of times, you get into some of the states where they're running quick. Hey, we were going, I think it was in Virginia, and we were going to Florida or something. We were going for a family vacation or something, and like a loaded log truck passed us. We were doing 75 mile an hour. Loaded log truck passed us. That shouldn't move that quick.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be moving like that. You get into like Georgia and places where it's like flat, like. You're doing 75 mile an hour, and like trucks are passing you.
Oh yeah, out in the western states, you go to Montana, Wyoming. There's places they have a suggestion of a speed limit, but nobody goes. I mean, it's basically fast as you want to go safely.
No, I would believe that too, because I've seen Drew go for trips, and like I have no idea how he turned, like how he got out there, unloaded the truck, did all the stops, and come back. That didn't make sense that you could actually do all that and do all that driving and be back for another load.
And in some states too, I know there's certain parts of the country too that if the posted speed limit is 70, everybody goes 80, 85. So, and the traffic flow, you just go with it. That's how it works.
If the MTO's listening, Andrew's just joking about Drew coming back that fast.
That's on the other side of the border. We always joke about Drew being like Jerry Reed.
So Adam's saying someone was getting an automated bagging machine. Any idea how that worked out? I have no idea how that worked out. I don't know. He may even be on here watching this. So that's
Colin Gerber got one.
That's it. Thank you.
Colin Gerber and Wilfred Smith bought one. Ula, he actually stayed the night here. The guy that did the VPAC. Really super nice guy. Had a great visit with him, and I don't know if it's. I don't know how they work. I don't know if they work great or not great or what. He was here back in the summer, and really, really nice guy, the same age as me, and really, really, really decent guy.
Yeah. Check out Gerber's Firewood. They got a huge website. Maybe give them send them an email or a message on there, or maybe they're even on here and they'll comment. So I don't know them personally and haven't heard anything on them on that bagging machine. So.
And if they do have a website, if Gerber's have a website, like Colin and Wilford would be more than happy to answer any questions for you. I'm sure if you give them a call, super nice guys.
Yeah. Steven's Firewood. Andrew got the Easton made last week. I like to have a tire for my equipment. Do you have any hats or shirts available?
I'd be surprised you wouldn't get a hat with it, honestly. But that's something we're hoping to get up and going here the next couple of months.
I never got any hat for free other than this one.
Oh, don't you? Hats are coming your way now. I'll trade you an Easton made hat for a beaver hat.
Well, the beaver hats are we got a lot of people that want them. So
I bet you do. They're awesome.
I think we got about 25 or so.
I think an Easton made hat may be a little less expensive than a beaver hat, though.
Yeah, well, we used to sell them for like $160, $170, but the tanning prices doubled, shipping prices doubled. So they're like $250, $260, something like that now.
Oh, and I would think you'd be able to get that for them all day. Like it's something authentic like that. That's pretty cool. I seen that. I thought that was pretty neat. That
they're warm. They're really warm.
Yeah, hold that. Dan says any box wedge is a kindling machine.
This is true.
Yeah, when we used Harry had his there, and you got to put the right kind of wood through it. We put some just terrible stuff in there. I had knotty ash, and it was rough. But once we put a couple nice pieces, it went pretty good.
Yeah, like if you have something twisted or knotty, it just the wedge follows the grain, right? So if the grain's that much on one end and that much on the other, that's what you're getting.
Well, here's a good selling point if someone has a box wedge is that you've got kindling on the outside of the wood because it shreds it so much that the color grain goes through. You get all that fuzz coming off. It's like built-in kindling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What do I have here? What are some of the lesser-known options available for the splitters? Jerry was telling me about a third wheel, for example.
Yeah, there's a handful of things like that we've done for guys in the past. It's hard to market that stuff and keep track of it all. Like the odd time we've done different things for guys I put a seat on one for a guy. Actually, I actually put a seat on his wood sweater so he could sit there and run the controls while somebody loaded it for him. So we can do just about anything. What happens when we start doing that kind of stuff, it really, really eats up production. Like you got to think if you're going to take and change a hood at GM or something, you know what I mean? It seems like a really simple, easy job, but when you need to shut down and stop and think about something for an extra 15, 20 minutes or half an hour, if it's not right, it takes up a lot of time. When it was just me building wood splitters or a couple of guys, it didn't matter. We built whatever. Mm-hmm. We didn't really care. We were just building wood splitters. But now we got to be really conscious of how much time we actually invest in doing different things. So
that, and two, you probably got it figured out to what works best because you're building them. You're getting feedback. You know what works. You know what's efficient. You know what is really needed. And so there's a reason why you're not putting some of the stuff on there.
Yeah, and like for the third wheel, for example, like it works. Like the reason we have the third wheel is we built it for unloading them. That's like when we had the trailer running them, we put the third wheel on that went on the hitch, so then you could get them down off the ramp with the trailer, and then like you guys will see that and show, I want that. Well, it's not really something we necessarily do, but we can do it for you. Like even like the tall four-way, it was quite a while. Like we built a handful of them for guys, but it was quite a while before we even started offering it or even telling people about it. And even now, like you won't see it on the website.
Yeah. Tyler just ordered an Ultra. Does it come with a bigger push plate that Chris premiered on his channel last summer? Is that standard now?
Yeah, all of the Ultras come with that bigger pusher on them there now.
Yeah,
It does make a big difference. I'm sure you've seen a huge difference with it, Chris. So
yeah, you're able to do double splits where before I really couldn't.
Yeah. That's handy.
You get a piece you want to throw, a small one you want to put two of them through or whatever, or two halves you want to stack, and
Be back in the house even earlier. Colleen's Farm Adventure. Hey guys, just coming. Chores done. The cat's fed and shut up the chickens for the night. Well, glad you could join us.
perfect.
Here we go. Axis makes no kindling.
Yeah, it is a sweet machine. We were just playing with Tony's tonight, and it's if you want to make really nice wood, that is a machine. And I like the fact that that's the other question I get, Andrew. Is a lot of people say, how come you don't put a foot actuation on it? So well, talk to Andrew.
It's funny. I get asked that a lot on it.
Yeah, I bet you will. Yeah. There's probably a way you could do it, but like you say, how much stuff do you want to do it, and how is it going to affect the cost, and how fast can you get it done? And
That's exactly it. Like you got to really think about all those things when you're doing it. Like it really does. All that little stuff makes a big difference. You have to be able to find a way to and then you have to figure out a way to produce it that it's cost effective. Then you have to figure out a way to produce it that it's reliable.
Right.
That's kind of the three factors you have to think of there. So
yeah. Ontario Fire Resource have a showdown. You should have it on the hill. You just let him move it all up. Yeah, I guess he won.
I'm gonna mention something here for you, Andrew. I don't know if you guys are planning on coming to the logging show next year. That's going to be in Green Bay. But the last day of the show is on a Saturday, and they always close at noon. And I'm thinking of having my splitter, Tony's axis, and then maybe Harry bring his 1222 to my woodyard, and we're going to do like an afternoon in my woodyard after that show. So we're planning on doing something like that. So it'll be kind of a cool thing. And
is that this September or next September, Chris?
This September, yeah. It's in
I'm gonna see what's going on. I don't know if we're gonna be doing any shows this year, but when it's over in Green Bay, it's always a really, really good show over in Green Bay. Escanaba is always really, really slow. Yeah. But whenever we've done Green Bay, it's turned out really good. If we end up going, I'd take you up on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do something like I just thought I'd mention that we're gonna have a little open house kind of a thing and have guys come and look at the machines and fondle them, whatever they want to do.
Well, I'm sure a lot of guys will really appreciate that, because you can't be very, very far from where they have that, eh?
No, 25 miles.
Oh, wow. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have a wood show near us. I guess a farm show would be the closest thing to see any sort of firewood equipment for us. And that's still, that's an hour and a bit for us in Woodstock, but.
And it's kind of few and far between. The one lad that looks after the wood part of there, I can't remember what his name is. Super nice guy. But there's not really a whole lot of firewood equipment at the show. Like I know when we were there, we were kind of the only splitters there. Like Marcos was there with Spitfire, but again, the Spitfire is literally like just down the road there, right? So
at a lot of the logging shows, they don't have what I consider the prosumer type equipment like you have. It's not just logging equipment, the big machines. And so we thought we could do something for guys that want to go to the show and be on a weekend when those guys are going to be around. So we thought maybe we just do a little get together thing. So.
Yeah, you're right, and it's funny because that particular show that's in the Great Lakes, like they have a lot of big iron there. There's a lot of big equipment at that show.
Yeah, a lot of Ponzi equipment.
There's a lot of Ponzi equipment there. Yeah, if you want to see Ponzi equipment, that's where to go for it.
It's incredible stuff.
Oh yeah, it's crazy stuff. Yeah, it's good equipment.
So now people are telling me it's in Oshkosh, and I thought it was Green Bay. Apparently, I've been corrected a couple times. It's Oshkosh. Yeah, which is even closer. That's like I think it's 18 miles the other direction from me. So close.
Yeah,
Oshkosh is pretty close to Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm right in between the two. So
We got Tony Baloney, cheese and macaroni. What do you call a Wisconsin guy sandwiched between two Canadians? I don't know either, but it's good content. Cheers, gents. Cheers, Tony. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it. Now I got to get back up in here.
I was up in Canada at a hunting camp. Well, this was 10 years ago with my dad. We were there for 3 weeks. We were assisting the owner. We were friends with the owner, and we were setting up stands and stuff. And after 3 weeks, both of us were even ending our sentences in A.
It's the greatest word ever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Logan, wonder what BTU of a palm tree wood is. Palm tree isn't actually a tree, it's a plant.
Oh,
Learn that on the Stuff You Should Know podcast. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Go. Like bamboo, maybe too.
Yeah. That's one of my, when I got the wireless earbuds in, I'm running the processor, I put on my podcast. So that's what Stuff You Should Know. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Now I lost my spot here. Sorry about that, guys. Wayne's taking off 9 o'clock. I probably missed him, but have a great weekend, Wayne. Enjoy your time. I'll be talking with you. James cutting Jerry's firewood last year was a funny video.
It poured rain that day. If you watch the video, it would rain buckets and buckets and buckets, and it was Jerry wanted the wood done. It was like one of the only days in the next 2 or 3 weeks where I was able to actually get out and do it. That was the day we were doing it.
Those are the kind of videos that people really, when you go through adverse conditions, they really pay attention. It's like, wow, it's like a big deal. It's like, that's another day. Some days are better than others.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the big thing when dad was logging, dad had a big logging outfit when I was growing up, and the big saying was, this show goes every day. So
Yeah. We got Big Dog Firewood, great content, guys. I believe he's trying to say. Keep up the good work. I'm starting my channel out. Check out Big Dog Firewood. Thank you. Well, you guys looking for another firewood channel? There's another one for you to go check out.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are doing a good job of it too, and I've talked about this before too. That it's been so great for us, manufacturers, me and Chris Wolf, and all the other guys that are in this industry. We're so fortunate to have people like you that run our equipment and show it off for us. So we wouldn't be in the position we are if it wasn't for the help of you guys doing all the firewood videos and the whole community here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up north, Minnesota Jim. I have been told my Ultra will be ready by the end of the month. How many days in advance will I be notified for a tentative delivery date?
Really depends on the situation, honestly. Normally we try to give you 3 or 4 days. It may be more, maybe less, but depending on who's hauling it, like whether we can get on Drew's truck. Like Drew himself will call you if it's on his truck, but if we have to go through a broker and somebody else, then it would be a different story. So
Craig says the beaver hats are warm. -10 and your head is warm. There you go.
Yeah. They're not warm. They're hot.
They're hot. Yeah, I bet. I got one, years and years ago. Rabbit one. That was I used for ice fishing. Oh, it was toasty.
There's a reason they grow the fur, to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a request for you, Andrew. Like a cab on a 1222 with air conditioning. That'd be great. Ever think of a self-propelled splitter?
We've kicked the idea around before, but I don't know if it's entirely necessary. I kind of look at like you're either going to move the wood or you're going to move the splitter.
Yeah. Here goes to that
my Ultra.
comment. Hydraulic power.
My Ultra is self-prepared.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly it. You start in one spot with a splitter, it'll push itself, keep pushing itself back and back to the wood pile, and like we've had a lot of discussions with different people about this, and I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. It's cool, but I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know.
Yeah, be handy, but how many guys would use it?
Yeah.
Joe, Andrew, I got a 37D on order with a piston pump. Can you explain the differences between this and the specs listed on the website for the 37D?
I'll do my best to elaborate on this. I don't know what the specs are on the website right now, Joe. I think they say it's a 6-second or 7-second cycle time on 37D. When you get it with the piston pump, it'll cycle in just under 5. They're incredibly fast, and that's out of a 37-ton wood splitter too. So it doesn't slow down like the 1222 has a cycle time of 5 seconds, but it slows down. Where the 37D, it doesn't really care at all. So that's gonna be the biggest difference on it, and we'll probably go through and update the website here in the next couple of weeks here once we start getting those piston pumps in, and the pumps are here. We're just more or less waiting on those adapter plates. So
yeah. Schwab, let her rip, Tater Chip. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.
Gonna have to buy a round when we all get together at the show.
Yeah, that's one thing that it's really strange about being on YouTube. You get to be friends with so many people that you've never met, and you know that they're going to be good guys, and you'd love to hang out with them, but they're so spread out. I mean, all over the world. I mean, there's guys that comment on the channel from all over the world. And it's just so neat.
I've made some great friends on here, and some of them, Stevie's on here, and Pa and Nutsy, they're in PA. Like we've gone family vacations, spent a week with them. They've come up here, and it's been, lots of great people.
It's funny. Like how long have we been friends on social media, and we finally met up in the fall. That's that's the only time we've ever met, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I was waiting to see you at the show the last time at Bunyan, and you had a lineup of people waiting for you, and I'm like, I'm not waiting in line.
Oh, it was crazy. Last time we were at Paul Bunyan show, that was, we were busy. Because there was me and Jerry. My buddy Andrew White was with us there. Stacy was there. And I think Coos was bouncing back and forth between the Bells tent and Eastamate too. And like, even at that, we were just like crazy busy there, which is great. And I really enjoy like going to the show and talking to people, because you get to meet so many different people. Like you said, like people that you may not have ever met before.
Yeah, it's crazy when you, like, I'm not nearly as many subscribers as you guys, but you'd be there walking around with wife and Nutsy or Pa, and be looking at something, somebody like tap you on the shoulder. Oh, hey Kev, how you doing? Great content, keep up the great work, and they keep on walking. You're like, hey, thanks. It blows me away. Like, you never.
What's hard is they see you as a friend, but you never met them before, so you try to get to know them, but it's hard in a couple minutes.
Yeah,
and they've been watching you for hours and hours and hours, day after day, and it's just so hard because you want to talk to them.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got, Eric? How many cords do you need to go through a year before moving to a commercial grade splitter? Not able to justify it right now for personal use. Maybe for my retirement job.
It really depends. I'm biased. I'm gonna start my statement with that. I'm definitely biased. That being said, we have lots of guys that buy these splitters, and 2 or 3 years down the road, if they want to trade up or you want to go different, right? They sell the machine for more than what they paid for.
Yeah.
Like if you have the money to invest in it, you're not going to lose money on it.
The thing you're going to save is time more than anything, and you can't get more time. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And a commercial machine will save you a ton of time. That's what I've learned. And if you want to actually grow it into a business, if you can't use it enough for yourself, you could, you could rent it out, or you could go split other people's wood. There's so many other options you can do with it. Like Andrew said, they're not going to lose value. They're made so well that that you're not going to lose money.
Yeah, I agree. That's for sure.
And they're more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes splitting wood a lot more entertaining. When
Yes, it is.
it's like having a snap-on ratchet. It doesn't twist the bolt really all that much better, but it feels real nice when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Branded Firewood, have you made a 37D with the attached conveyor?
No, the reason for that is when we do the attached we can do a 37D with an attached conveyor. You're not going to get a piston pump on it though. When we do the piston pump, those pumps are already special ordered. Like we ordered them literally 8-9 months ago, but it doesn't have an auxiliary pump on it. Where it's a lot easier with the gear pumps to add another section on the end of it. So if you were going to buy a 3070 with an attached conveyor, it would be a piston pump on it and not the piston pump on it.
Yeah, that's
kind of a good. You'd have a gear pump on, not a piston pump.
Yeah, it'd be a gear pump you can stack, right?
We can do it on the piston pump. It's just a little more work. We are trying it for one customer. You guys probably know Marv Sawyer. Marv Sawyer's over in Minnesota. You've probably talked to him a little bit on Facebook, Kev. But he's getting a 2228. He's going to buy an electric 2228 with a piston pump and an auxiliary pump on the end of it. So
yeah. All right. I keep seeing this question coming up with the electric processor. Guys keep asking who builds them, who's going to build them. You've already said you'd build one if you got it.
Yeah, we got an order for one. Yeah.
Or you have an order one.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put it on your price list so people would know that is an option or what the pricing is for it?
Yeah, I'm surprised Jeremy hasn't done it yet.
That's just an idea.
We're just waiting to finalize the price on. Like it's very close to being the same price as what the diesel is. Like it's not. It's within a couple $1,000, so it's going to be the same price as the normal diesel. The biggest advantage you have is noise and then maintenance. So there's really no maintenance with a electric motor, right? It just spins and spins and spins. So
yeah, I think that's going to become a bigger idea. People are going to be tossing around now when it comes with the price of fuel going up for fuel savings for guys that are kind of more stationary.
If guys are stationary, that electric's the way to fly. Yeah. I think that's the way of the future anyway. They're trying to get rid of any internal combustion engine now, so it's only a matter of time, right?
Is it true that California's like outlawing all small engines?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. I even heard. I know last year, a couple of years ago, when we were switching engines there, that they. I don't think the Hondas were actually met California's emissions.
Wow.
Obviously, I know people are selling them in California, no problem. But I did hear that the Hondas weren't actually meeting the emissions in California.
That's crazy. We got Larry, bucket list. 1, visit Oshkosh Air Show. And number 2, visit Chris in the Woodyard for free water.
Well, the Oshkosh Air Show is usually the end of, towards the end of July, and the creek in the back is flowing that time of year, so you'll have plenty of water to drink.
Would you're not far from Oshkosh. You said you're 18 miles from Oshkosh?
Yeah.
You'd catch probably some of that coming over, eh?
Yeah, because I'm right next to the Appleton Airport, and a lot of the shows they stage at my airport and then fly over to the show. So yeah, I get to see a lot of the World War II stuff and some of the jets. It's pretty cool. Yeah, one year I saw a Concorde years ago. That was cool. So yeah, you get to see some neat stuff that you'd never get to see. And they base all their rides they give to a lot of the things like the P-26. It's one of the big troop transport planes that they give rides in, and so they fly over all day long. It's all day long.
So you do see airplanes where you are, then, Chris?
Yeah, I'm right next to the airport. Yeah, just a lot.
Tony Baloney, where's the Canadian beer? Wow. Yeah, Coors Light. This is made in Canada.
Irish is close enough, I guess.
That's quite a difference, Guinness to Coors Light. That's a big difference.
I can't drink that molasses he's drinking.
It's good for you.
The only thing cool about that beer is a widget in the bottom of the can.
It's funny. I couldn't drink Guinness at all until we went to Scotland, Ireland. We did 2 weeks over there, and they have Canadian, they have Coors Light, they have whatever beer, but it's made with their water. And like, there's nothing worse than like going like suck on your favorite beer that it just doesn't taste quite right. That's when I kind of started taking the Guinness on. It's kind of stuck with me now. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of Guinness. Not a fan of it.
It's definitely an acquired taste. It's a lot like Scotch, I guess.
Yeah, Scotch. Yum yum yum. Andrew, do you make any splitters with a single stage pump or single stage pumps?
No, you need so much horsepower for it. It wouldn't make any sense. And in order to get any power out of it, there would be absolutely no advantage of doing it.
Iron and Oak Sawmill finally made it. Son and grandson were visiting. Well, I hope you had a good visit. They're more important than us. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Back to the Husky. 592, Chris.
The story keeps changing. I was originally told February, and then I was told June, but now I hear it could be April. So it's, who knows?
Did you order the Husky from Eastamade?
No, it's that's just the thing. People in people that don't work in manufacturing have no clue of what's going on.
Yeah.
You can't get stuff. It's just, you have to accept the fact that it's not going to change for a while either. It's the way it is.
Oh no, it's gonna be some turbulence here for a wee bit for us guys building stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think I was talking the other day about the trucker thing going on with you guys, and average person doesn't realize the truckers, if they wanted to control the world, they could. They can decide what to deliver where and when and how. And the people, how do I say this nice? I won't. The people in the cities would find out real quick. They need us.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Well, it's funny because last week here, there wasn't a whole lot going on. You had the people that live downtown Ottawa that were kind of bitching and complaining. I don't understand, because they live. If you live within a couple of blocks of Parliament Hill and then don't expect a protest every once in a while, I think you got rocks in your head. And then well, I don't know how far I'm going to get into this. And then you get the business owners downtown that are upset because there's this many people there, and like. It just baffles my mind. You have more people on your doorstep than you've had in the last 5 years. Kick the doors open.
That are willing to spend money.
Work. Like you've been crying about work. Kick the doors open. Go to work. You got a whole pile of good people there.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't get it at all.
Common sense is not very common. That's what it is.
No, it's just, and the worst part of it, I'm local to it. The way the mainstream media is portrayed, especially in Canada here, is completely and totally I think most people have lost faith in it locally, because we have so many people that have gone down to see this, and it's peaceful. Like, there's nobody causing a ruckus. There's nobody hating one another. Like, we're Canadians. We generally accept everybody. Mm-hmm. We don't. we pretty well love everybody. That's kind of in our nature, right? And that's what's going. Like, it's completely and totally peaceful and clean. People feeding the homeless, and they doing whatever they can. That's right. And that's from firsthand experience from people that. Like, I bet you half of our staff's been down there every other weekend and through the week. So. Yeah,
they're bouncy castles for kids.
Yeah.
Better put that emergency order in.
That's the worst part of it. Like, we live in a democracy where we're supposed to be able to protest and protest peacefully, and they're literally putting laws in now that we can't do that. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's illegal to use a piece of safety equipment in your vehicle.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, go to jail for that.
Yeah.
But on to bigger, better things, because
Yeah, I agree.
we could go on. We could talk
Never
for
read
all
on
night.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start getting mad.
Yeah, June 11th will be here soon.
There you go, Firewood Frenzy, June 11th, 2022. Woo! Can't forget
Too
about
bad
that.
Kenny wasn't here to do the woo, because he can belt them.
I would. My kids are sleeping. I can't really yell that. Because if I wake the kids up, and then it's just gonna be the wife yelling at me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to go. Or leave the camera on so everyone can witness. Here's another. This is a good comment too, Brush. Gonna have to give this to you guys. Andrew, invent the mass produce a stacking machine. You'll be richer.
I know a guy that could test it.
One thing that I've noticed is so many people want to answer to all their troubles, and then just don't realize life is hard, and then you die.
There's no simple way.
Yeah. Just get off your butt and do stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly
100%.
You get out of it by how much effort you put into it. It normally gets reciprocated.
Yeah. I always say, you give a lazy man a hard job, and he'll figure out a way to do it easier. And
Yeah,
but it still probably won't get done.
yeah. K&L Firewood. The powder coat on my access table has rubbed off down to the bare metal directly under the knife. Any suggestions?
I don't think there's anything we could probably do with that. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
Keep using it. Use it enough so it don't get rusty.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And it's funny because we've done it. I've painted just about every possible way in the that powder coat. It's good stuff.
It's the best thing there is, isn't there? I mean, there's nothing else that's better.
Yeah, no, there's. I haven't seen a better way to do it. Maybe anodize everything, but I don't know what that would cost to do that. But
yeah, the cleats we put on the skid steer, they do them like that, or you can get them done like that, but it still does wear.
Yeah, I would think no matter what you did, anything that's under any kind of abrasion and that kind of pressure consistently, I don't think there's any kind of a finish you put on there to rectify it.
I would take that
cool when they're new, though.
I would take that as an owner. That's a badge of accomplishment.
Oh yes, 100%. I would think so too.
Glenn, Andrew, do I need to call Justin and get that 16 way for the 37D I ordered? I ordered 5 wedges, including the 6-way that come with it.
I haven't thrown 16 way into the 2220 or into 37D or the 2220 yet, so I can't even comment on how it would work. I know there's I've seen guys modify the 12 way and put a couple extra wings on it with success. I just don't know if that's something we're going to do or not.
It'd be neat to see.
It would be. I honestly, I think there'd be no problem. I think it'd probably work fine. It's one of those things until you test it, it's hard to market it, right? You got to make sure that it's going to work before you start selling to people.
So here, this is for California. Anything under 25 horse has to be electric after 2024 for new equipment. And I want to say 2023, they all got to be tier 4 diesels. So if you got old scrapers, anything, they're converting them to tier 4.
So what's the point of all that?
Well, it's a farmer.
question.
It's the cows that are causing it.
Another one will be here all night, Chris.
Oh, I know. I wish there'd be an earthquake and it would just slide into the ocean. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We used to do. I'm an auto mechanic by trade. I'm a licensed auto mechanic. I worked in shops before too, and like the cars would come in to get an emissions test on me. I had to do an emission test every year on a car, every second year, I guess. Can't remember what it was, but like the cars that came in and failed the emissions test didn't belong on the road.
Yeah.
Like everyone that I've seen come in like fail that test, it had no business being on the road at all. the exhaust emissions was the least of their problems.
Yeah. Iron Oak Sawmill, to all the Canadians pulling together. Well, thank you. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Chuck and Deb. Appreciate it.
Hopefully some people start waking up and realize what's going on in front of their front door.
I think unfortunately it's going to take a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think so too. K&L Firewood, the bare metal certainly gives a character. We all appreciate you guys. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. You know, you did all that work to wear that paint off. That's the way I look at it. So here's another good one. Terry Firewood. We've got the Avro Aero or Avro Lancaster. I've never heard of that one. 4-engine heavy bomber, 1 hour from Toronto. I didn't know about the Avro Lancaster. The Lancaster, that's the original. That's the one they rebuilt from the war, I think. Because there's one being built in. Because I think there's only 2 that fly. And there's a third one being built. Lord Muck, if you've heard of him, he's on YouTube. He's been around one that will be the third one being built or being rebuilt. That's pretty new. Those things like give me chills hearing them run. Like imagine back then hearing those things come flying over. Just
when that big one flies over when the Oshkosh show is going on, you can hear it from a long ways away. It's a rumble. I don't know how to describe it. It's not like anything else you've ever heard. Yeah. I can imagine what it would have been like, you know, in war conditions to have hundreds of them flying over. Yeah. It must have been unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now. I couldn't imagine. Crazy. Videos by Al. We have a local guy here using 2 electric multi-techs feeding 1 tumbler. That's quite the operation. I think that's the one you've shown me already. Pretty sure of it. Chewy's Firewood. I love that name too. Chewy's Firewood. That's awesome. Stacking machine. Yes, please. There you go. Another one sold, Andrew.
We're on to something.
Yeah.
It should be real easy.
Yeah. Right.
Here's Stevie, 592, strong saw out of the box. He's got one. He got one. He was a tester for the 592. So
I ran one up at the logging show last year, and I talked to the guy that was the rep. And he comes to my area, and I asked him if he'd stop into my place sometime. I got to get a hold of him because maybe I could get a video of one cutting in my yard. He said he could stop in sometime, so it'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
nice. 592 will take the place of the 395. Is that the idea?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's their plan. Yeah, it's auto-tuned and all that. So
I've only run a couple of those 395s. My buddy Carp down the road has a couple of them. That's a lot of saw too. That the 395 is a big saw.
Yeah, my brother's got when you run one, and it's like I tell people, it's the difference of when you start. You start out, with a chainsaw. You start with like a 40cc, whatever, and you kind of, this is kind of a scary machine. Then you jump up to like a 70cc saw, and it's like, hang on. And then you go to the 95. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
They work really good. Carp's a big chunk of a lot. If you think of like stereotypical Canadian lumberjack, that's his picture will be in the dictionary there for you. He's about 6'4" and 260, 70 pounds of like all muscle and like He just takes the raker file and just grinds them right down. It's all you can do to hold on to it. It blows chunks at the back of that, so I'll tell you, it's awesome.
We got a question for you, Chris. Larry, I'm in Ohio, splitting oak and hickory medium size. Do you think you'd be ready for next winter?
It's not, it's one of those questions that you really just can't answer because, okay, here's your variables. What's medium? Is it going to be stored in the sun? Is it going to be in the wind? Is it going to be in the shade? Is it going to be off the ground? Are you going to cover it? Is it going to be stacked crisscrossed, or is it going to be all on top of each other? And there's so many variables that maybe.
Can you give me the drying time for each variable? That'd be great.
It's a good solid maybe.
Yeah, if you get it stacked up and it's in the sun with some wind, it's probably be pretty close.
Yeah, hickory dries faster than oak. White oak's the worst to me, I think. White oak dries real slow. So you got to factor that into it. I buy a lot of barkless oak because in our area we have a lot of oak wilt right now. And the reason I buy it, number one, is because there's a lot of it. The loggers have it. They can't sell it to the paper mills because they want fresh green stuff, because apparently when it goes through their machines for chipping or whatever they do to it, it doesn't work as well because it's drier. And so that outer inch or two on it all the way around on the outside is dry. And you get some of that punky stuff too, and they don't want that. But for firewood, when I get a load in, I'll have a third of it. When I split it inside, it's dry already. I mean, it's already below 20%. And I'll separate that out and then I'll stack it. And I can usually get dry wood within 6 to 8 months from barkless oak because it's been standing dead for years. So you're pretty dry already. The green stuff, a couple of years.
Yeah. We got Jeremy. I'm at a high school basketball game and I can't hear what you guys are saying, but hello to y'all. Well, thanks, Jeremy.
Jeremy is
coming out. Appreciate it.
Yep. Jeremy he replaced Tony as my new best friend. He's the guy I went elk hunting with. He's the guy. Okay. He's the guy that invited me out elk hunting. Super guy, super nice guy.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great trip.
Craig, great show, Kev, Chris, and Andrew. Have a great evening. Well, thanks for coming out, Craig. Appreciate you. Chris, any news on your next dump trailer?
I've decided what I'm going to get, and probably in the next, I would say, 2-3 weeks, I'm probably going to make a purchase and drive over and get it. I'm getting one made out of Canada because that's where all the good stuff comes from. Because no one in the States makes a galvanized one that I've been able to find. And there's a place in Ontario, 2 of them apparently. I want to get a N&N, or M&N, is it? N&N. That's the
N&N.
Yeah, that's the one I want to get.
Yeah.
So,
we've had good luck with ours that we've had for probably 3 or 4 years, and it gets used on a regular basis, and we're not typically ever easy on things. Like there's normally a lot of different people that are operating and running it.
Yeah,
it's been great.
And those N&Ns are good trailers.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the other one was Miska.
No, I don't think so.
Miska does the galvanized trailer.
Yeah. I saw someone post it. I think they do them custom, but they do.
Oh.
We got ours. A local shop builds them in their off season, and they galvanize them. So we got one built there. So it's like built 5 minutes from our yard, galvanized 10 minutes from our yard. So pretty.
Yeah, and since you guys invented road salt up there, I'm pretty sure you know what you're talking about.
It's the greatest car protectant ever.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, our roads here are just white powder.
Yeah,
I have a black truck in the summer. I have a white truck in the winter. It's great.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's about the same. I don't ever want to go near my truck. By the time I go near my truck and get into it, there's something dirty on me. There's not even any point of washing it.
No.
Yeah, when I leave my truck parked outside at my woodyard, there's times I have to chase the deer away because they're licking it. I'm just kidding. But it's bad.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No.
What's handy for you, Andrew? You got a heated shop. You can wash them, but you guys got a car wash right down the road from the shop too.
Yeah, and by the time that I go down my road at home here, there's not any point of me trying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
I'll tell you, there's lots of days of Corvette idles down the road in second gear.
Yeah. Yeah. Back River Firewood, lead time for a 22 MB. Have to choose between a Blockbuster and Easton Made. Going to purchase in 2 weeks. Need one fast.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be 5-6 months. Honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. If you give the shop a call on Monday, Jeremy will be able to give you a good solid lead time on it. You will not be disappointed in that 22 MB. It is a lot of machines.
Yeah.
Like you're talking 115 horsepower bar saw.
It's
Like that.
fast. It's so
It's
fast.
insane. That's a lot of, and just how heavy it's built. I don't think you'd be disappointed in it. You are not going to go wrong buying a Blockbuster, mind you, either.
No.
But I think dollar for dollar, I think you'd be you'd like that 22 MB anyways. So
Yeah, I'd like to say that 22 MBs in a different league than the Blockbuster, and I'm not knocking the Blockbuster. It's a good machine, but or they make good processors. Just having that extra horsepower run, like that saw rips when you're cutting.
yeah, it's pretty neat to see because there's lots of different bar saw processors out there, and everybody's been always afraid to take that jump from that 74 horse, but that's when your DEF stops to go into to a proper engine for one. And once you commit to that and put the horsepower to it, it performs. It's night and day difference.
Outside with Schwab, Chris, when are you getting your processor? Woo!
I don't know. Someday I'm gonna get one. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. There's another great question here. How will anything ever be built in California after 2024? Yes, I'm serious. I don't think anybody can answer this for you, Eric. I don't think they even have the answer for it.
No.
I've seen a handful of like electric tractors. Like the one lad that works for me, he was gonna like Brady was gonna buy an electric tractor. He lives completely off grid, like in the middle of nowhere. And he said, "Well, I got the juice there anyways. I got the solar panels enough for them to charge the tractor. Why would I not do it?" And he said it was just a matter of running the wintertime was the biggest reason why he didn't go ahead and buy one.
Yeah.
But then again, that's like a compact tractor. That's not a proper big tractor either, right?
What I wonder about with electric, the problem is it's not that they don't have the power or the speed, but how long can you run before you got to swap out batteries or recharge? I mean, like, we were just talking the other day about electric chainsaws. Yeah, it's for around the home would be great, for the few little trimming. But if you're gonna go outside and do real work for an extended period of time, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, how many batteries are you going to carry? Like they were saying,
you're absolutely right. And then like it's funny you say that because I never thought I'd ever buy an electric vehicle ever, and I actually bought an electric Jeep. Like I have a Jeep Wrangler with 37s on it. It's electric. Cool. Like it's a hybrid, but it won't go very far. I think the range in electric is like 35 kilometers. It's really? it's enough that we can go like to town and back before the engine turns on. But the nice thing about it is that if you want to go into the bush, you can be really, really, really quiet when you go in there.
Like as long as your battery doesn't die.
But again, like you don't like even at that, like it doesn't have the range. I don't know how long. Like even at that, you'd have to have the infrastructure, all that stuff there to even run it efficient. I have a charger in the garage here, but
going to be a lot of lithium that they're going to need for all those batteries they got to carry around now.
Yeah, and they think they're saving the planet. They don't realize what it takes to get the lithium.
Mm-hmm.
And what you have to burn to I don't think there's really much advantage to it at all, honestly.
It's all based on emotion. Yeah.
And all that stuff's made out of plastic, which happens to come from
the ground.
Just gonna leave that one out there.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
When Canadians are pissed, something is wrong.
That's true.
Yep.
I never met a Canadian that wasn't a nice person.
Yeah, Stephen, Lancaster was World War II Brit bomber. That's yeah. The Avro threw me off, but the Lancaster is There's one in Hamilton. Just Jane Lancaster is being built. Imagine the one bomber raid. Yeah, they had some raids with over 1,000 bombers. Wow, that is
I have
crazy.
a hard time building 1,000 wood splitters. How do they build 1,000 bombers?
Well,
Because they pulled everyone away from what they were doing, and you're all building.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
everybody worked. Men, women, children, everybody. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. Shab says the 500i is amazing saw. Yes.
Yeah.
Can we get them in Canada yet, Kev? Do you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
It's a heck of a saw. It's a screamer. It's a screamer.
I think they're about. I want to say $1,500.
Yep.
Canadian. I think Canadian force. I think our buddy bought.
That's about what they are for us.
Yeah.
1450-ish.
Yeah, so it's probably a little bit more than for us.
That would be a little bit less than what the 660s were. I think it priced at a 660 last
We're about the same.
last year, and it was like right around $1,600 or $1,700 Canadian for the 660.
Yeah.
Yeah, 660 is a heck of a saw.
And if we're talking about saws and stuff, they're any good. Holtz bars that you can get on Amazon. Do not buy them. They're not very good.
Yeah, tried it, man.
Oh, the boss, just for giggles, bought a couple bars and he blew the tip out in like 2 weeks. He's like, yeah, I'm not even going to use the second one I got. I'm just going to hang it on the wall. It's like built for men or something, like their slogan on it. Built for real men.
I'm not quite sure how great that Chinese stuff is. I really don't.
Oh, it's not. It's not. Like I used.
It's like buying a good pair of sunglasses. Like you can go ahead and buy like the cheap pair of Ray-Bans or Oakleys or whatever, but when you buy the real pair, they tend to last a lot longer. They don't scratch, they don't bend, they don't mangle.
Well, I
You're
think
not talking pit vipers, are you?
When you spend more, you take care of it too.
True.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah. We got everybody talking about bombers now, which is pretty neat. They burned the city of Dresden to ashes with Lancasters. Crazy. Billy Bob's Wood. Is this turning into an all-nighter? It's kind of looking like it.
We've been going about 10 minutes, haven't we?
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot about Stevie. Stevie said he's got a Boston butt sitting on some oak coals for the football game tomorrow.
Oh,
Have a good one, Stevie.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a bunch of big guys fighting over a chunk of leather tomorrow? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happens.
I'm just here for the chicken wings myself.
I'm gonna go cut wood.
I normally just cheer for the team that's losing the first half. Is normally how it works out for me.
Yeah. Steven's Canadians have summer trucks and winter trucks. That's right. One's salt coated and one's not.
One starts in the cold and one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a pain. I hate salt. It's just a pain.
Oh, it's terrible stuff.
Yeah. Shibe Andrew and plans on building a home owner splitter, something under the Ultra.
Probably not. It's too hard to be competitive at it. Like it's way too hard to be competitive at it and compete with other companies that are selling them for a couple $1,000. I have a couple $1,000 in the parts. I don't know how you'd ever do that.
I think that's it.
And I honestly, guys, I've even looked into like importing from China with my own design and stuff, and like I'm gonna save a little bit of money on them, but it's not even the money I'm gonna save is so negligible. It's not even worth me taking the risk on it.
Yeah.
Most homeowners, if they burn, if they heat their own house, if they're splitting friends' wood, or say a couple brothers get together, Ultra's a good machine for them to buy. I mean, it'll hold its value. It'll work great.
Yeah. Videos by electric chainsaws are battery killers. Yep, for sure.
I haven't ever run one. I was gonna when I bought the Jeep, I was gonna buy an electric chainsaw just to leave in the Jeep, but my 562 has been in it and hasn't left it. It just sits in there. That's its home now. So
yeah. Saw surgeon Andrew. Do you make a splitter head for a mini excavator?
I would really like to. I think that would be the way to go, and that would be great for a lot of guys. I think the problem with doing that is that there's so many different attachments, and I don't know if we would ever get them all right. The skid steer is easy. It doesn't matter what skid steer it is; it's the same mount.
Yeah,
but like when you get into excavators and stuff, like all of them seem to have different pins, different set. Like I just don't think there would be an efficient way to catch them all. And then if you send it to a guy and it doesn't quite work because you haven't got the right dimensions, then it's not. I don't think it'd be worth the aggravation, but I think they'd work awesome.
Yeah, I think that I just saw outdoors with the Morgans. He just got a split fire for his Kubota Mini, and I saw him. He was bolting on the adapter for going on the Kubota. So yeah, it's like you said. There's one how many adapters do they got there?
Yeah, and I would think like something like a Kubota's probably got a standard adapter throughout the line, but then there's so many different mini excavators and full size excavators that I think it'd be very, very difficult to do it and be good at it.
Yeah. So we got two prices. Ontario Fire says 2,000 for 500. James says 1,600. He's offering to bring both of them to you when he picks up his 37D, so you can try them out, Andrew.
I go for that.
I'm sure you can find a stick of wood out in the yard there.
I'm sure I'll have a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you about your sticks of wood. Because you're building these machines, obviously you're testing them. How much wood do you guys process yourself there in a year?
Probably 100 full cord a year.
And you were heating your old shop with wood, right?
Yeah. I heat the shop at the house with the wood. The shop in town, it's natural gas, and honestly, even the shop at home, it's going propane. And it's just because that when I figured out I'm about 15-20 minutes in the morning to load it, and then in 15 to 20 minutes when I get home to load it, so you're 40 minutes out of your day to load it. And then I have an older, we got into the outdoor boiler discussion last time, but it's I can burn about 17, I would say about 24, 25 full cord of wood just to heat my shop. And I don't do anything in it. So I think the cost of it is going to be very, very, very close.
But the time savings is huge.
Oh, it is. And like at quarter after 5 in the morning, you kind of want to go to work. You don't want to roll around the tractor, that's for sure. So, but we go through a lot. Like we're probably 100 full cord a year in around there, and a lot of it. We'll sell a lot of. We normally sell it for a discount. Because we'll get stuff in there that's short, long, big, small, just depending on who's running the machine and where it's at or whatever. So we normally sell it for a discount. A lot of the guys at the shop burn wood in their homes, so just take the wood with you and throw it in.
Yeah. Well, Nutsy decided to show up. How you doing, Nutsy? For guys who haven't known, check out his channel. He's got an awesome YouTube channel as well. So, logger in PA, just not far from Pittsburgh. Sorry. Tony Baloney, California's contribution to the war effort will be an electric bombers with 50-mile range and terrible pizza. Iron Oak. What is a Super Bowl? Is that like a toilet bowl?
It's a bunch of overpaid, overprivileged, overworshipped boys fighting over a chunk of leather.
Yeah. I think it's more of a reason for guys to just get around and eat chicken wings and drink beer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
and bet on the coin flip.
I had a guy. You got a funny story about that actually. How had a guy a couple of weeks ago. We were counting inventory. We did this ERP assessment, like I was saying, and he was the guy that was kind of managing the whole thing. And big football fan. He couldn't come to work because he had to study football that weekend instead of coming count inventory with everybody. I thought that was something. I can't even make that up.
Yeah, around here it's a religion. I mean, because of the Packers. I mean, it's
it'd be huge there, and it's really like here we take hockey fairly seriously. Like I played hockey ever since I could probably skate before I could walk. And it's and it was one of those things that every like hockey night in Canada Saturday night. Like I don't think there was ever a Saturday night where dad didn't watch hockey night in Canada. Dad's a huge hockey man, just loves it. And then like every weekend, Sunday you were playing hockey. I played hockey in the morning. Dad was mid-morning. I was in the afternoon. So hockey was life. And it's funny when you cross the border and then you go around on a Friday night and just seeing the atmosphere of the small communities and towns. It's really amazing how it brings everybody together like that. Eh?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
High school sports are great, and even to college, but the pro stuff just, I don't get it.
Oh yeah, and it's funny. Me and the wife were talking about that tonight. We were watching hockey there tonight, and she was just talking about the women's hockey. I'd much rather watch the women's Olympic hockey than almost anything else because they just work so hard. They work so hard at it, and you don't get that until the third round of the playoffs where people actually come out, where the guys actually come out and they work hard to get it right. So
yeah. You guys realize that we do firewood to play with our toys and just sell it to justify it with our wives.
Pretty much.
Oh, that's great. What's the use for the shop at home now? Really enjoy my visits there.
Well, we've got it. Anthony was by there probably last spring. We it's completely cleaned up. Like you weren't ever out to it, I guess, Kev? But we scrubbed all the walls. It was completely black just from welding it all day, and we scrubbed the whole thing, redid the floor, and it's just going to be my own toy shop or storage, I guess. So.
That's good. That's a nice little place for your vet, though. Nice and toasty.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be able to spend more time doing that kind of stuff. I got my old truck there to fix up, and I enjoy doing that stuff. It's just whether or not you get the time to do it or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about we do one more question here, and I think we'll call her a night. And we're going to go with Chad. And we'll do this as a kind of a couple questions. What's going to be the next innovation in the firewood business for you, and what you think the next innovation is going to be as a whole or as a group in the firewood industry? If you want to answer that, because I know some may be you may not want to talk about.
It really depends on where the wind blows you, honestly.
Or do you think kindling machine that you're already talking about is going to be probably it for North America?
It will be like and again, no, that's not a huge innovation. That's something that we don't see in North America.
Yeah,
like that's not an innovation. It's not like it's something we're going to do and try and excel at and promote here, because I think a lot of people could make good use out of it. It's really, really hard to say. There's a lot of different directions we can go with it, and it depends on what people want. It seems to be steering a lot towards smaller wood. That seems to be the key here. Is people want to bundle wood. They want to have cooking wood, stuff like that. That seems to be the way that it's trending. That's the dominant product people want to make.
Yeah. So I guess getting that, whatever technology you can get that produced.
I think that the fact
efficient.
That the cost of fuel is going up everywhere. I'm selling a lot more wood to people more volume of wood to the same people, and more people I've never sold to before that are telling me, hey, we got a fireplace. We haven't used it in years, but we want some more heat. I'm getting a lot of that this year.
Yeah.
There would be lots and lots on them. We've seen that kind of with the last spike too, like I guess 2009, 2010, that the fuel prices were real high, and there were a pile of people burning wood.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like, it may end up going back the other way. And like wood boilers were huge back then. Everybody wanted a wood boiler, and the like boiler wood then was a half big business. So it's really hard to say and hard to judge. The biggest thing is being able to respond to it as it comes in, right? So
yeah. Well, I think that anything else you guys want to add to this? You got? No?
I don't think so.
Well, if I missed your question, guys, you asked a question, I missed it. I apologize. You have to come back in 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. You can ask it again. We'll see who I get next week. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but leave a comment after the video's up. Maybe if someone you want to see on here. I'm all ears here when it comes to having guests on here. I think it's a great. Chris was awesome tonight. This was great. So was the last one. Was awesome. So this is something I think we should keep going here. Andrew, what do you think?
Oh, I'm up for it. I'm easy.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me. It was fun. I could do this. I go all night long.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll be the first. You'll be the first double guest. Two appearances.
Oh, that was my first one ever, so it was kind of fun.
Well, you did great.
Oh, thanks.
You did great for your first one. This, I think it worked out awesome. Lots of interaction here. So,
yeah, I was watching the comments going up and down. A lot of things I would like to address, but when you're doing the questions, you got to kind of stay on point.
Yeah, and I apologize to that. It's so hard to keep up, and you got to skip some. You fall behind in the comments, and people it's 30 minutes to get to their comment, and that's why I'm trying to keep faster through the questions. So, yeah, it's the only way I can see do it, or just not even answer them and just do our thing, right? But I think it's fair to the people that show up that answer their questions and
you did a
have
good
them
job.
involved. So, but anyway, again, you guys want to come? You can see me, Skidder Kev, on YouTube, Instagram, Chris at In the Woodyard every day. What are you, 7 a.m.?
I think it's 5 or 6 in the morning, I think, here. So, yeah, probably for you it's 7. Yeah.
Yeah, so 7. And Andrew, Easton Made Wood Splitters, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can check them all out there. You can check out all the machines. And that's it. We're good. I got everything.
Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. I've been waiting for 2.5 hours for that.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.